Today, I'm going to tell you why it's getting progressively harder for you, and not just you, the entire industry across the board. Why it's getting harder for companies, B2B companies, to get new clients. And this is applicable to any sort of agency. It could be a recruitment agency, staffing agency, marketing agency, lead gen agency, any type of agency, any sort of software company like a SaaS, doesn't matter, B2B operation. It is getting progressively harder to get clients. Most companies are getting left behind, especially with the advent of AI and advanced AI. It's going to get even harder. So let me dive in. Most of us rely on outdated, ineffective methods. On my sales calls, when I talk to potential clients and just seeing what is out there, what people are doing, not just when interacting with me, but with other people, what I'm seeing is the vast majority of companies, they rely heavily on word of mouth or referrals. The big problem with word of mouth, it's pretty obvious. I don't think I should be spelling it out for you, but you have no control over that. It's not predictable. 1 month it's going through the roof, and the next month there's nothing. Everything is dry. The pipeline is dry. So, and this only works if you have a successful track record. You already have an existing client base. You're actually valuable to someone. If you're just starting out, you can't even rely on word of mouth, right? The second thing is, somebody told me like they do networking, and this is just obviously this is last 20th century stuff, right? Networking. You have to go to an event, you have to book hotels, you have to travel, you're spending time, and maybe it's you and your team or just yourself, and you're limited by the amount of people you can reach, right? And you're not actually sure if the decision makers are going to be there. And the follow-ups, they could take weeks, months, and people often forget about you, right? You exchange like calling cards and visit, whatever that's called. Yeah. So this is slow. It's not effective. I don't know what to tell you. And then there's manual outreach. Like I was on a call a couple of days ago, and I asked them, how do you get clients currently, right? And they said, we do LinkedIn DMs mostly, right? We do LinkedIn DMs, and sometimes we send out a couple of emails, cold emails. And this is slow. It doesn't matter how much you do it. Like even if you have a full 8 hours to do this as an owner, let's say you're a solo operation, a solo agency. Yeah, if you have 8 hours to do outreach, you're gonna maybe send like 100 DMs. Like if you're not completely copy pasting it, if you are, you're gonna get banned first of all. So it's super slow. Again, you're limited by your own time, and yet that's what people are doing for some reason. That's what people are doing. Um, yeah, it's called prospecting, and it works, but it has to be super specific. Maybe, okay, today I'm gonna go on LinkedIn. I'm gonna DM 10 companies, but I'm gonna record 10 separate looms for each one. So it's hyper personalized, and you skyrocket your reply rate, and you maybe book a meeting, right? But most people are not doing that. They're actually copy pasting templates, and it's not working for them. Like they're struggling. They're booking one client a month, and they're wondering where the next paycheck is coming from. But it's not good. So another thing, it's very difficult to get yourself to do, right? Every day you have to do cold outreach, and like, oh man, I don't want to do this today, but you have to do it because it's your business, right? Somebody has to push it. And it's super tedious, easy to get disheartened. When you get no replies, you get disheartened, you get discouraged. And maybe you're relying on SEO. SEO is pretty good. It used to be pretty good, but it's slow. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a technical background, it's not just the H1s, the H2s. That's pretty important, but it's not the only thing. And it takes months, could be 2, 3, 5, 6 months to get some results from SEO, tangible results. And it's not future proof. AI is coming. We don't know if search is going to stay the same the way it currently is in Google search. Maybe it will disappear. Maybe something will happen, and then SEO becomes obsolete like a dinosaur. And yet, this is what most people are doing. This is what like 90% of agencies, B2B operations are doing. They're not taking a proactive approach, an intentional approach to getting new clients. They're just not. They're stuck doing these outdated, ancient methods. I'm not saying not to use them, but you have to be very intentional, and up to date with what's working. Okay. So if 90% of people are basically doing poorly, who is actually getting all the money, right? Who is getting the lion's share of the clients? Who is stacking cash, cash wads upon cash wads, and is the top performers? And let me click on this. So it basically comes down to focus, right? If you are a top performer, like you're 95%, at least 95%, lasered in, basically, on your intentions and how you go about doing things and not just half-assing it, then you get the lion's share of the market. You get exponentially more clients, exponentially more cash, exponentially more clients coming in through the door every day. And if you're this guy, you're like 80% focused, you think you're doing pretty well, but you're not. You're just getting the scraps, basically. And if you're this guy, which is the majority of the people, you get only 3 clients out of the 100, and you're like 50% focused, right? You're not doing the right things. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you're getting beaten, like you're getting left behind by these guys. The people who can focus the most, who can concentrate their efforts on the correct things, they're going to win. They get the lion's share of the market. So who are they? Who are these people? Why are you half-assing it? Why are you just clocking in with half-assed with these methods here, these methods? Why are you doing them when they're not working for you and they're not predictable? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, basically? So to get good results, you need world-class focus and world-class effort to be here, right? 95% focus. So now you're going to say, okay, but I can't do that. That's too difficult. Yes, that's the point. It's difficult, okay? But can you afford not to do these things? Because you're going to go down. You're not going to be able to get new clients. So, and by the way, this is not a sales pitch. I'm just trying to hammer this point in because that's where we're going. Like, you'll be left behind. So how can you start landing high-ticket clients for your business on the regular without the methods used by the best, by these guys, by these? How are you going to start doing that? Maybe you're reaching out to 10, 20, 30 new prospects per day and you're calling it a day. And then you get like 1 or 2 replies and they're all negative, right? You can't even get anyone on the call. Or just getting 1 client per month from word of mouth. Like, this is what I'm actually hearing on sales calls. This is what people are actually doing. And chances are you're doing this as well, just word of mouth. And that's the reality, really, for many B2B companies. It's just hope that what you're doing is the best and is good enough, right? And that it will somehow magically, miraculously work out. No, it's not. No, it's not. The best guys, these guys, they're eating your breakfast. They're eating your lunch. So what I found is it pays massive dividends to be intentional. Have to become good. Become intentional with your client acquisition. This is the most important. If you don't have clients coming in, you don't have a business. So you have to choose the right vehicles. Okay? There are a couple of vehicles. You have to choose them correctly. And it's not, it's not these. Okay? It's not these. I can guarantee you, it's not these methods. And yet most of you are doing these. So what is it? How the best guys attract clients like clockwork. They do everything. Okay? Don't laugh. They do everything. They do content, they do paid ads, and they do cold outreach. Content, they're meticulous. Regardless of whether they feel like it or not, they have people doing this 2 times a week, YouTube, 5 LinkedIn posts, 40 Twitter posts. And this is the bare minimum. You have to be across every platform. If your audience is on Instagram, which I doubt it, or TikTok, because you're doing B2B, post there. But these are the platforms you should be 24/7. Okay? Paid ads. If you don't have the budget, if you're just starting out, no paid ads. Okay, but eventually you will get there. If you have the budget and you're not doing paid ads, why? You have to paid ads are just a money printing machine. You put $1 in and you get a $2 back. It's just, you have to stick in as many dollars as you possibly can. It's a money printer. And then outreach. So are you doing cold outreach at scale? Maybe you're doing like 10, 20, 30 per day. That's not enough. Like the best guys, they're doing 500, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 cold emails per day. Cold email is still probably the best vehicle for attracting new business clients, like people who have never heard of you, getting the conversation started with your offer, your value proposition in your cold email, if done correctly, is the best way to get new clients. Okay? Like, if you don't have any following, any content, if you're not doing that, and chances are you're not doing it, then cold email is your best friend. It's the best vehicle, bar none, for getting new clients. That's it. I'm not talking about being spammy, okay? I'm not talking about being dumb, like because, okay, when you hear 1,500 emails, you think spam, right? But it's not spam. You have a very dialed in ICP, ideal customer profile. You have a very dialed in value proposition, have a very dialed in offer. And when the correct person reads your offer at the right time, they will be interested. You will pique their interest. You will elicit a response. That's for sure. So you have to be strategic with your approach. That's what they're doing. They're intentional and strategic. That's what the best guys are doing. That's what gets them the results. So how do you compete with that if you're just doing a measly 30 emails per day and they're doing 2,000? How do you compete? No, you don't. You get here. They get the black one and you get the blue one, or you're not getting anything. Okay. So here's how they do it. They build a list with the exact decision makers. They know that their ICP to the T, and then they go on ListKit, Apollo, Crunchbase, any other platform for getting leads, and then they curate the list. Okay. Second step, they build out the copy, but not just a generic template. Like I've seen the crap circulating on the internet. Not generic templates, hyper specific, hyper short offer that gets people responding. Okay. And something that doesn't come off as too salesy. Like you don't want to sound like a car salesman. And then you follow up strategically. Like most of my positive replies on the third email, that's where they happen. Okay, you have to follow up, but you have to be smart about it. Not, did you get my last email? Or did you have a chance to look at my last email? Or just regurgitating the same offer. That's not how we do it. Okay. I've talked about cold email in some of my other videos. It should pop right up somewhere here on the screen. Just click on that and it should walk you through some of the processes that go into actually setting up a correct cold email campaign. Happy watching.